All right, so 55 degrees in Fort Collins, Colorado is not super cold when you get to December, but the real estate market is. It just feels, a little bit seasonal plus. Seasonally, we should expect a slowdown on new listings, closed sales, prices dip a little bit, but we also have the added effect of interest rates, which have come down a little bit over the last month, which is great to see, but still are pretty high, which impacts affordability pretty substantially. So I'm seeing it as a seasonal plus, cold, seasonally slow market. Talking to a few sellers right now that we are, pumping the brakes on any type of listing activity, especially before the holidays. Going live with a few of these in January and March. One kind of pushed out to April. So we will see on those three, but really just telling those clients, let's wait. It's a dead time of the year right now. Really only a very few people are actively searching. We're working with some good buyers right now, but this is the Fort Collins real estate market update, December 2023. We're going to look at November stats, median home sale price, closed sales, under contract, new listings, homes for sale, interest rates, and what does that mean for you as a buyer and or seller here in Fort Collins. So let's jump into some of the data. Now, again, if you're on Instagram, jump onto our YouTube channel. We are going to be pretty graphic heavy today, but the median sales price for the month of November, $580,000, was flat month over month. Days on market ticking up a little bit, 46 days. Again, in the state of Colorado, city of Fort Collins, we calculate days on market from the day that it closes. And your typical transaction timelines are going to be about 25 to 35 days. So homes are sitting on the market for about 2 weeks prior to going under contract. 105 closed sales, not too many. It's kind of to be expected. Holidays, Thanksgiving break, not a lot of activity. 95 homes under contract and 271 homes for sale. But one of the things that we're going to look at is really a year-by-year comparison for some of this data. But let's jump into specifically some of these kind of over the last 2 years, how this looks. Inventory of homes, dove all the way when 2021 was happening, COVID. Inventory plummeted. No new sales, but tons of buyer activity. It was just a perfect storm. But inventory is rising pretty substantially. Days on market, we dropped all the way to the low 20s. We're now 30s, 40s, but relatively flat. Homes under contract are definitely seeing a drop. And this is going to be immediately related to our interest rates. So when you see this, interest rates plus prices, our affordability, there was an article in the U.S. News. Fort Collins, Colorado is actually one of the cities that was discussed in regards. There was lots of different cities, but they discussed what it would take for the prices of homes versus our income versus what the actual income would need to be for there to be a healthy purchase. And it's a pretty decent discrepancy. Right now, you need to make about $166,000 in Fort Collins to afford buying a house. Now, this is, I think, a $500,000 price point, but we are seeing prices level off. They dipped a little bit, but we're seeing prices level off over really the last 12 months. Closed sales too, dropping a little bit. So those are kind of all of the over the last 2 years. Here's something that looks at over the last, really since the last 10 years, since 2013. 2008, 2009, Great Recession, we saw homes really skyrocket, inventory skyrocket, prices drop. Fort Collins saw a 0.5% and a 2.5% price drop, respectively, in 2008 and 2009. So this is just looking to 2013, and really, the market in 2013 was hot. I remember driving and exploring houses with my wife, and we looked at a house in May 2013, and I looked at her. I said, "Hey, if we like this house, we need to make an offer on it right now." So it was it's been a hot market in Fort Collins for over a decade. But we are seeing, homes under contract and closed sales dropping from kind of their 2013 levels. So we're definitely seeing a little bit fewer homes close. But inventory, just really homes for sale, just is kind of just trending right along. Definitely higher than we saw in 2020, 2021, but nowhere near what we were in 2013. And we're nowhere near where we were in 2008 and 2009. Days on market, again, just kind of staying flat. Fort Collins has been a strong market for a long time. One of the things that the national market is looking at is homes for sale actually increased in November versus October. So you see this pink line right here. It actually usually should drop right here come October. Well, really September. September, it starts to drop off for a lot of these, months each year. This is looking at, if you see this, this is looking all the way since 2017. But 2023 jumped up. Well, how did Fort Collins do on the same graph? Well, each month in Fort Collins, we always see a drop. Really, September time period, it kind of peaks. October, it starts to drop. And we did see that drop from October to November, which suggests seasonally we are experiencing a similar activity. But our homes for sale is much higher than you see in 2022 and especially 2021. We had this massive plummet of homes for sale in 2020. This was just rockin' market. 2021, again, same thing. It just never had that peak like you kind of see here in the summer. It had a little bit at the end of the year, but we are just fighting an uphill battle to get that inventory back. New construction, new builders, existing home sales have those golden handcuffs. We just see a really tough road for both, for just inventory mostly, but prices have 100% leveled off over the last year. Now look at this. This is what's interesting. This is 2013 homes for sale. I mean, the entire year, there was not a single time between 2018 and 2017 and 2023 that had more homes for sale in all of 2013. And 2013 was a rockin' market as well. And our population has grown substantially in Fort Collins since that time. So you can see all of these pressures on really pricing and just inventory in general. This is days on market. This is something that is going to be really a lagging indicator. Homes under contract will be, kind of a leading indicator, but days on market will be a lagging indicator. And if we can kind of get up to that 50 to 70 days on market like that we saw in 2013, 2019, we might see prices do a little bit of a drop. Last month, we talked about all of these price concessions and price changes for, and then also from the original to the final sales price. On average, in the month of October, from the original list price to the final sales price, including concessions, about a 4.5% reduction. So we aren't necessarily seeing this huge change in list price or final sales price, but we will if these days on market kind of continue to tick up a little bit. So we will watch that. We will watch that closely. Here was the conversation piece over the last few days. The Federal Reserve, ING, is estimating that the Federal Reserve will cut rates 6 times in 2024, starting in quarter 2. Well, end of quarter 1, quarter 2. And they're saying that, hey, the inflation's calming down. I watched a video that said, hey, there's going to be deflation. But right now, interest rates are potentially going to get cut 6 times, which will, although they're not directly tied, they are indirectly tied, which will probably subsequently decrease interest rates, which again increases people's affordability, even if prices stay flat. So that's definitely something that we're going to be keeping our eye on as we move into 2024. Overall, interest rates right now for a 30-year fixed are down about 1% versus 1 month ago, 6.87%. A $400,000 loan is about $310 cheaper per month. This information is provided by Turnkey Lending, which we appreciate them kind of diving in and looking at some of these stats and analytics. If you're looking at getting pre-approved for a loan, they've got a great affordability calculator that gets no information as far as this high level. They're not going to sell your data. So go check that out. But still, a 2-1 buy down is a strong play. Inflation's getting tamed down. The Federal Reserve is considering 6 rate cuts. The other big news for the month of November and December was conforming loan limits jumped from 726,000 to 766,000. So a conforming Fannie Freddie Mac loan, you can now put as little as 3.5% down. So long as that loan is at $766,000, you will have a conforming loan that would be able to be sold to Fannie Freddie. A big deal as prices have increased. This is directly for Larimer County. Now, my prediction, not prediction, but my thing that I'm watching most is jobs in the economy, because it doesn't matter how affordable a house is, even if you have a 3% interest rate. We've had a few conversations with individuals who have lost jobs recently, and a few people who have picked up jobs just kind of temporarily. But it doesn't matter if you have a 3% interest rate, a 2% interest rate, or an 8% interest rate. If you don't have the income generating to pay your mortgage, it's an issue. Those are probably the biggest things that are going on right now. And as the economy softens, as inflation gets tamed down, people start looking to make cuts. And unfortunately, employees are one of those cuts to be made. So unemployment is going to be a huge number that we will be watching, because if it does, in fact, have an increase from 3.8% to 5% or 6%, and people start to lose jobs, well, you could see a flood of homes coming onto the market. Or people who have bought over the last year. We saw a house that was bought 1 year ago in kind of the Battle Creek area, and it was bought for $720,000. It doesn't look like they did anything to it. They're trying to sell for $725,000, which doesn't even account for the commissions that they would have to pay, but it's sitting on the market, not turnkey ready. And so, it just kind of goes to show that, hey, people may have gotten in over their head with the mortgage that they have. Properties aren't experiencing that appreciation. So there's not this inherent wealth effect to where someone's like, well, I can figure it out because I just made $80,000 in 1 year, 10% increase of appreciation. But we saw this hysteria in 2020 and 2021. Stock market was up. Unemployment was low. There was jobs available. There was jobs on jobs on jobs. Remote work was available everywhere. Prices hadn't skyrocketed yet. Interest rates were extremely low. So there was this hysteria of buying houses, and also we're buying houses all over the country because you could all of a sudden remote work. Well, currently, interest rates are higher, prices are higher. There's a slowing economy. Jobs are in question. So we have this kind of uncertain feeling. And, as much as I'd like to say it's just going to be, steady Eddie, all that kind of stuff, I'm concerned too. I think as a buyer, I think being opportunistic is key right now. I think also being relatively aware of the idea that there could be 6 rate cuts in 2024 could impact your decision making, because, hey, if we do have those interest rates decrease, there is from my estimation, 30 to 50% of the market sitting on the sidelines right now based off of new mortgage applications that have decreased over the last 2 years comparatively to the year prior. So these 30 to 50% of the home buyers that are on the side of the market could just rush in. And I was talking to an agent of ours who wasn't licensed in 2020, 2021, and he got licensed, I think, 2023. So this is his first year. He's aware of the market. But I said, I was like, right now, you have no idea how not fun 2020, 2021, and 2022 was. We averaged 4 to 5 offers per client. I mean, it was hysteria as far as that market goes. So as a buyer, I would say be patient, but also be aware that there could be a reduction in interest rates and this kind of onslaught of buyers that are sitting on the sideline coming into the market. As a seller right now, I would 100%, say be patient, but also if you have a good buyer that comes across your table that makes a reasonable offer, you've got to explore it. You're going to see offers that are under list price. You're going to see concessions being asked for. You're going to have to negotiate an inspection. So these are kind of like a changing of your mindset. Now, again, if interest rates plummet and there's still an inventory issue, yeah, well, then you're the king of the castle again. You're the king of the hill, and you're going to call the shots. You're the queen of the hill. You're going to call the shots. You're going to tell them, what of the 4 to 5 offers you're going to accept, and that no inspections, all that kind of stuff. But if that doesn't happen, or if buyers don't see their way back to the market, or interest rates don't decrease, you've got to explore all offers. You've got to be understanding that there's going to be negotiations. But I would say be patient. For sure, be patient. Prep your house for sale. Do the little nitty-gritty work, the painting of the baseboards, changing out the lights, getting the space decluttered, depersonalized, and deep cleaned, and get it onto the market and show it in its best light. You are going to have fewer buyers to choose from, or if any. and you're going to have to really reflect what market price is. But make sure to be patient, because there's been a couple of instances just over the last few weeks that we had one house that we put an offer on, and it just coincidentally another offer came. It was on the market for 12 days. We did put an offer that was 6.5% underneath list price. We were a cash buyer. We didn't get the deal, but we will watch it. We will watch that house closely. And then there was another house that was in Indian Hills, and it sat on the market for, I think, about 30 days. They had one pretty significant price reduction, sat, and then they got 2 offers. So there's these kind of opportunistic buyers sitting in the background, and as a seller, you feel like you're out on this kind of island, but at the right price and the right opportunity, you're going to attract those buyers. They're waiting, willing, and able. So that's kind of my my spiel for sellers and buyers in this market is buyers, make sure you're opportunistic, but also be aware of the potential onslaught of buyer activity in 2024. And as sellers, be patient, wait for those offers. Don't necessarily take the first one that comes across your table, but if you have a good offer that comes across your table that matches a lot of your criteria, make sure that you understand that you're probably gonna have to negotiate to get the deal done, at least in this moment. Now, I don't necessarily see any questions at this time, but if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on those graphs that I provided. They're not super they're relatively clear, but I guess I could make them more, vibrant or showed certain areas. But for me personally, I love to see the years stacked on top of each other from 2013 to 2023 for days on market, inventory, homes for sale, all that good stuff. It kind of shows just a direct comparison of the seasonality curve, from January, our inventory drops down, pops up in June, July, August, kind of comes back down. A really great correlation to see if there's any really immediate things that we have to take notice of. Because if all of a sudden days on market, you see kind of maybe should be increasing and, just by a hair shoots right up, well, prices are going to be reflected here shortly. But those are things that we enjoy looking at. So if you enjoyed those graphs, let us know, leave us a comment. Now, if you're considering buying, selling, or moving to Fort Collins, Northern Colorado area, we are licensed real estate agents. So give us a call, text, or email. We'd love to help you on your journey. We've helped tons of people in Fort Collins, in Colorado, and then all over the country and world. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Until next time, guys, take care.